Hello everyone. Today's lesson is regular and irregular verbs. Please take writing coach and turn to page 48. The objectives of this lesson is number 1, to match present and past forms of irregular verbs, and secondly, to use principal parts of verbs in sentences. So, regular verbs form the past and past participle by adding ed or d to the present form. This is something we studied, and it is very simple because there is no rule. In the end of each word, you just add ed or d. If there is already e there, you just add d. If there is no e, you add ed. This is with regard to regular verbs. But when we are talking about irregular verbs, they don't have the same form. There is no predictable pattern to form their past participle. Basically, there is the list of irregular verbs which you can find easily in Google. Just type list of irregular verbs and you'll find like a lot of lists. So for instance, here we have 3 examples of regular verbs, and then we have 3 examples of irregular verbs in present, past, and past participle. The changes occur in past and past participle. So the regular verbs in present, the first one is protect. In the past, protected. Past participle have, has, or had, depending whether it is present perfect, past perfect. So have protected. So simply we added ed, as you can see. The same thing for vote. There is already e here, so I will not add another e. I will just add d. And the same thing here. Batted. Here we double the last consonant because it is a one-syllable verb. The same thing here, batted. But what matters to us is the ed in the end. Then when we move to irregular verbs, as you can see, bring, it changes to brought. Brought. Have brought. So regarding the have or has or had, this is in the past. Have and has in the present perfect. Had only past perfect. Has with he, she, it, we say has. With I, you, we, and they, we say have. Okay. So this is a different lesson anyway. We focus on the verb in the past participle or past. Those are irregular, brought. So here there is no change. Of course, we change it from present to past, but past and past participle the same. When you go to break, the past is broke, past participle broken. So here, the past and the past participle and the present, all of them different. Sometimes the verb does not change at all, like split, split, or read, read. Put. There are several verbs, they don't change at all. They stay as they are. So those are the irregular verbs, and this is basically the focus of this lesson, is this part of irregular verbs, how to change them into the past or past participle, and how to use them correctly. So the first practice, matching present and past forms of irregular verbs. So we'll focus only on irregular verbs. Because regular are easier, you just put d or ed. So read each item, match the present form of the verb on the left with the past form of the verb on the right. The first item has been completed for you. So basically, to lose, number 1 is F, lost. Okay, it's already done. So pause the video, do it yourself, match the verbs in the left in this section with the verbs in the right. So left, right. Then play the video and check your answers. Okay, let's correct. Number 2, to leave. Well done, left. Next one, fly is G, flew. Next one, fall is J, fell. Then number 5, to choose, it's B, chose. Swing is swung, C, swim is I, swam. Lend is H. Lent. Lead is led, D. And finally, ring is rang, E. I hope you got them correctly. Otherwise, make sure you correct your answers. Now we move. Practice B, using principal parts of verbs in sentences. For each sentence, write the principal part of a word that makes sense in the sentence. So for instance, a river through the town. So I will add a verb that would make sense. A river runs through the town. In addition, you should pay attention to the tense. I cannot here put the past or any other. I cannot say that a river ran through the town like in the past, because there is no indicator of the past here. I cannot also use the future, will run, obviously, because here the only tense is the present simple, because it always runs there. Okay, so runs, except if there are some indicators. For example, if something, for example, 10 years ago, a river ran through the town, but no longer. So when you use the past, it means that action no longer affects the present. Okay, pause the video, read those sentences, try to come up with a verb that would make sense, then put it in the right tense. Okay, the verbs, maybe you will come up with different verbs, but as long as they make sense, that would be fine. But the thing that we cannot disagree about is the tense of that verb. All right, so pause the video, do the exercise, then play the video and check your answers. Okay, let's do the first one. If you had bought eggs, you could have. So here we have could have. So the verb should be in the past participle. You could have made an omelette. Number 2, the people who attended the grand opening received a free keychain. Number 3, after winning the game, the team celebrated. Number 4, the sun looks as though it is sitting on the top or on top of the trees. Number 5, my brother grew 5 inches in the last 3 months. As you can see here, this is an indicator of the past, the last 3 months. Okay, I hope you understood the lesson. Should you have any questions, as usual, do not hesitate to contact me. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.